accidentally drop your Apple iPhone in the toilet and wonder, hey, why did that sink? And then you drop regular apples in the toilet and they float? What's up with that? Pause the video and talk about it with your teacher. Density! That's right, density. That's the answer. It's usually the answer to most questions. Density. Let's do an experiment to see how density really works. Now, Eagles, when you do experiments, you have to be careful to protect your eyes. Eyes are really important. I heard you learned about them earlier in the year, so you probably know all about it. To do experiments, you gotta protect your eagle eyes. Got some of the best eyes in the animal kingdom. Gotta make sure it stays that way. Now, I might look a little funny, but it's better to be safe than sorry. Okay, we've got three different substances we're going to test in our density column of science. First is a little thing called vegetable oil. And you can see it sloshing around in here. It's about 20 milliliters of vegetable oil.
Ms. Riddle,
excuse the interruption.
To help translate on a phone call. Ms. Riddle, if you're still here to help translate a phone call.
Ms. Riddle. Okay, back to the video. A little bit of vegetable oil. And we've got H2O. And you're asking, why is it green? Well, because that's what I wanted it to be. I wanted it to be green, so I dyed it green. A little bit of food coloring. Shouldn't change the density. Here, last but not least, this looks like water. But watch when I move it around. It moves much slower than the water I just showed you because this is something called glycerin. Glycerin is used in lotions and soap-making processes. So it's something you might have heard of before. So again, we got oil, water, green water. Go Eagles. Glycerin. Okay. I've got my handy dandy graduated cylinder of science ready to go and my three substances. We're going to mix them together and figure out what order they're going to settle out in. But before we do, you guessed it, you're going to pause the video and discuss with your teacher, make predictions. Which one do you think will be most dense and settle to the bottom, and least dense and settle at the top? Pause the video and hypothesize with your teacher. Are you done yet? Okay, good. Here we go with the rest of the experiment. First, I'm going to take my oil and pour it into the graduated cylinder. You can see it slopping and sloshing and moving slowly. Thick and oily. Then I'm going to take my water. Slosh it in there carefully, protecting my eagle eyes. Watch it settle out a little bit. And then I'm going to put my glycerin, last but definitely not least. So cool. Now just watch. Your teacher has one of these. So if you want to see it up close, You'll have to ask them. You can see down here at the bottom, the glycerin, the clear glycerin has settled out. It's still working. Settling out based on density. We got the glycerin at the bottom. So the glycerin's like your Apple iPhone, sinking to the bottom of the toilet. If this were a toilet, this would be an iPhone. So glycerin's the most dense of these three materials, these three substances. Then we've got our green Eagle water in the middle here. It's right smack in the middle. Then at the very top, we've got our oil, which is the least dense of the three materials. So the oil is like the apple that floats in the toilet. Apple iPhone sinks to the bottom. Oily apples float on top of the toilet. Okay, I hope you enjoyed our very special Eagle experiment today. Remember, be safe, protect your eagle eyes, and always, always drop things in the toilet.